Thank you for joining us, Rassie. We're going to get to Mzansi Super League. Should I start off by saying congratulations? Nice getting picked.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Obviously, it's an exciting concept for everyone going forward. You know, it's a new thing, new teams. Draft system was obviously the other day, 2 days ago. For me, it went well on the day. Great to be picked up by the Josie Stars. I'm staying in Joburg, you know, at the Wanderers, the Bullring, a place, great place to play. I've played a lot of cricket there.
Does that make what probably could be maybe a nerve-wracking experience a lot more comfortable, knowing that you are indeed, as you said, on your home ground, you're staying in town?
Yeah, I think definitely your home conditions, I think in this competition of this nature is going to be vital. You know, there's a lot of local players, and that local knowledge I think will go a long way. There's obviously international stars, the Chris Gales and those guys coming to play, and their international experience will be vital. But I think the local conditions, for us, the guys who've been drafted to the Josie Stars, the local guys, we know the field well. Like I said, we've played a lot of cricket here, and I think we're going to definitely look to use that to our advantage.
You've played with Chris before down in the Caribbean T20. Does that then come across as a really daunting perspective for other opponents to have you and Chris coming out as an opening pair potentially? I mean, that suggests that there's it's a lovely starting base for the Josie Stars as well, and with a stellar lineup to come, I imagine you couldn't ask for a better opening partner.
Yeah, I know. Chris Gale, obviously one of the best T20 players, batters the world has ever seen. You know, the whole aura he brings with him is a larger-than-life character. I mean, you've met him, you've seen him. He's just a massive guy. The crowds love him. He obviously hits the ball a long way, and I think for other teams it'll definitely be a daunting prospect. You know, knowing that we're playing at the Highveld where the ball travels normally, and playing against guys who can hit massive sixes anywhere in the world. The combination of those two factors, I can imagine, would be daunting to any bowler.
Try and take me through that entire experience, getting called, getting out there, the performance you put in. How did that kind of sit with you after so many years of hard work?
If you told me last year this time this is where I would be, I'd be very surprised. You know, it was a dream come true for me to play for the Proteas, to represent my country. You know, it's something I've dreamed about my whole life, and I'm sure a lot of guys have, and a lot of children still do, you know. So going out there, that was a massive experience for me.
You say now that the last 12 months have maybe come as a bit of a surprise. Based on what's happened in these last 12 months, does that make the next 12 months, bearing in mind what's coming around next year, incredibly vital for you, in the sense that, you know, as you mentioned, maybe a couple of years ago, if I had flirted the idea of a World Cup spot and going on to play for South Africa, you may have said, oh, not so sure. Now all of a sudden there's more opportunities in T20 cricket, a better platform to show the world your abilities.
It does. I'm quite a level-headed guy. You know, I don't look too far forward. You know, I try and take it as it comes. And you know, as a player in sport, you just got to try and use every opportunity you got to showcase your skills and showcase what you can do. Luckily for me, it worked out well this winter. You know, I played a few international leagues. I did quite well there. People are starting to sort of know who I am and know what I can do, and I think as a player I've grown a lot in the last year or two. You know, the innings against Zimbabwe on debut was a good example of me, not just the Rassie van Dussen going in and hitting a few sixes up front and getting a team off to a good start. It was the Rassie van Dussen who can also manage the innings and bat through the innings and set up a score for his team.
Do you think being able to play in T20s for South Africa, to be able to play in a 4-day competition back home, and obviously then look at the 50-over game as well, your ability to play in various formats, does that provide you with something extra for teams to start getting interested in?
I would hope so. I think as a player, like I mentioned, you got to try and adapt. You know, it's something that I've given a lot of attention to over the last few seasons. You know, being able to go into any situation and perform to an extent that is satisfactory to the team and helps the team move forward. You know, I have the individual sets of skills that's required in T20, that's required in 50 over, and required in 4 and 5 day cricket.
If I were to suggest that your game is not at the peak level that you want it to be, in the sense that you still feel there's a bit of room of growth and development, what do you think your game needs now to maybe take you from where you think you are right now to where you perhaps want to be, whether it be 6 months, 12 months, 5 years time?
Yeah, I think I'm only starting to reach the peak of my career. They say batters normally in early 30s are when they're at their best. You know, I'm 29 years old now, which is not old, but it's also not young. You know, I've played a lot of cricket, and I sort of understand my game where I am now. I think definitely I'm always looking to improve.
I also want to wish you the best for the Mzansi Super League coming up just around the corner. We hope that there are plenty of high-flying sixes and shots for not just for the Josie Stars, but for all the big stars that will be coming out of South Africa to hopefully try and give the league the real impetus and spark that world cricket is hoping for. And I know you're saying that you're a guy that doesn't look too far ahead. I want to encourage you and say 2019 may be a very special year for you. So best of luck. Enjoy the summer coming up, and we hope to catch up again soon.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.